This video is not intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing this morning? Josh and Rebecca Momini, good morning. RR, Mark the Infinitely Tired, Adiga Outlaw, Hell Brother, Lori Roberts, good morning, Lori. KP Star, Mark the Infinitely Tired, Mexican Iron Man. How are you doing? It's on in cash only at the Taco Breakfast Bar. Good morning, man. I'm glad you're feeling better, boy. We roasted Coach yesterday. Wow, Dave G Sound, what's his face, Mick, whatever. Guys, good morning, Samantha, Joe, and Purple Lady. The Valkyries are here. Heirs of Chaos, Battle Angel Eris is here. Guys, how is everyone doing this morning? RR, Lori Roberts, I already said Lori Roberts. Number one sci-fi, Sit Room. Good morning, Sit Room. Jedi Bill, 797, Rambling Canuck. The mastermind behind hashtag Blame Loki. Rambling Canuck, guys, the mastermind behind hashtag Blame Loki. Robert Pearson, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm bringing my guest. You know him, you love him. He is the ambassador. I want to give him a chance to tell everybody good morning. How are you doing, ambassador?
Doing just fine, Loki. And to everybody in the chat that you have already named, good morning. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope y'all are enjoying your breakfast burritos or your breakfast tacos or your breakfast chalupas or whatever you're having for breakfast this morning. Me, myself, I'll have breakfast after we're done here. So good to be here. It's been a little while. I have missed my good friend over here. This guy right here. I have missed this guy, and it is good to see all of you this morning. We're going to have some fun this morning and shoot the bull, as the old saying goes, and kick off our Tuesday morning the right way. So
heck yeah. And you know what? I see my friend, my brother, Bird of Prey 5 in the chat. Kaplosser. Guys, if you have not checked out Bird of Prey 5's channel, there is the link. Check it out. Sign up, subscribe, ring that bell. Why? Because Bird of Prey is awesome, guys. Bird of Prey runs a show much like mine. He just does it at a different time. He talks to the chat. He hangs out with everybody. He's got an awesome show. An absolutely awesome show.
And hey, Bird of Prey, if you ever want to have a confab with the ambassador, I think you follow me on Twitter. Just get a hold of me and we'll work something out. And that goes for everybody else in here that's got a channel and everything. Anytime you want to collaborate with this beautiful face, hit me up on Twitter if you follow me on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, find me on Discord. If you can't find me on Discord, I don't know what to tell you.
Guys, he said he had a pretty face. Oh, that's the same look Coach gave me yesterday. Oh, he does have a pretty face. A very handsome man, the ambassador. Very handsome man. Very handsome man.
I like to think so. The missus certainly does.
Man, I can't help but taser the ambassador just a little bit. I got to taser him. I got to, because, you know, ever since he was like, Loki, I'll mute you.
You know that video? Do you know that video seeing at 350 views?
Nice.
350 views for one stream.
I know Adiga almost died. We almost killed Adiga. Adiga's sitting there. No, don't do it. Oh, man. Man. Fun times, dude. And you know what, guys? When we talk about collaborating, you know, when I talk about that, when I talk about, you know, working with other creators and, you know, supporting people and them supporting you, That is exactly what I'm talking about now, Ambassador. He's like, I'm not going to show my face. Loki.
No. Cat's being a little feisty this morning. Got to shoo him and everything. So, no, you're good. No kitty.
Oh, Mexican Iron Man wants to know what the link is for that stream. I'll find it, dude. Give me just a second.
It's for the Mexican Iron Man. It's for the Fifth Element. We talked about that it's been about 2 or 3 weeks ago, give or take, and everything. We were talking about the Fifth Element. So, but I've got everything categorized and ordered and everything and nice and neat on my channel. All you got to do is, if you want to watch Babylon 5, you go to that playlist. If you want to watch pop culture, you go to that playlist. If you want to watch my live streams, you go to that playlist. So, it's easy to find. And
my stuff's all chaos. It's all chaos. You got an ACDC folder.
Good evening.
Crap, I'm playing. No. All right. I was trying to pull up your video. Yeah, no. It's good evening, everyone. This is the Ambassador.
that is what, and that, Loki, is why you fail.
Oh, Lordy. I don't fail. It's hashtag blame Loki.
No, hashtag you fail.
Oh crap. Oh, live streams. All right. I'm looking for it, man. There we go. Fifth Element. There we go. All right. We're gonna pull that up. I'm gonna have to pause it. I'm probably right in the middle of it. Yep, I'm right in the middle of it with Adiga cracking up, going, no, don't do it. Oh crap.
No, hashtag Loki fails.
I like blame Loki. Canuck.
I like Loki fails.
Loki fails.
Well, but this is he did blame Loki. I'm doing Loki fails. Hashtag that is why. Sorry, Keith. Yeah, I can't agree with you on that one.
So there it is, Mexican Iron Man. Links in chat. That was the stream. It was fun. Absolute blast. I think it's around like that the hour and 20-minute mark where he finally gets tired of me and starts muting me because I won't shut up.
Well, not to mention, I need to get that crew again together because that was a fun crew. I mean, the one I had this past Saturday was a lot of fun too. We were talking about Star Trek 6. That was a good crew right there I had on. I don't stand with Loki. I stand far away from Loki because sometimes Loki has a problem with BO. So. Hey,
that ain't funny. That's how rumors start. Body odor.
Loki has BO.
I stand by my original statement. He's ugly. We'll move on. He's looking at me again. I just can't see him. He's looking at me again. I just can't. Oh man. Oh, not just drinking, morning drinking. Well, Mr. CCDB, I'm almost there too. I haven't quite hit that stride yet.
Oh, and hey, there he is, the guy I was talking about earlier, Star Wars Rogue Podcast. Don't worry, Rogue Podcast. I was talking all good things about you.
Yeah, Star Wars Podcasting. Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you doing this morning? Taco Tuesdays, where we drink coffee or liquor and consume copious amounts of tacos.
Breakfast burritos or breakfast tacos for me, thanks.
Oh man.
Well, we are almost 10 minutes in. What do you say we get to the topic of the day, my good friend?
Oh yeah, because we're bouncing all over the place because of course it's chaos. So one of the things we were going to talk about this morning was video games, man. Like how what was the first video game you ever played? Do you remember?
Actually, yeah, I do. The first video game I ever played was actually Empire Strikes Back on the Atari 2600. Yeah, 2600. So, yeah, that was the first video game I ever got to play. And it was actually an Atari that my uncle and his second wife gave to me and everything that they actually owned when they were in college. And they were like, let's give this to my favorite nephew, my one and only nephew, and Chef Zilla. Good to see you, my friend. I know you. I know we follow each other on Twitter and everything. Hope you're doing well. So,
First one I
yeah.
remember playing was Pitfall, but I don't know what I played before that. I just remember playing Pitfall on the same thing on the Atari. Pitfall.
On Star Wars podcast, he says Super Star Wars on the Super NES. Yeah, that was a good one too. I had a Super Nintendo once upon a time, but the first console that I owned, well, not that I owned or anything, that like my mom and my grandmother got for me, is they got me a Sega Genesis. It was the smaller version that you could plug the 32X add-on into eventually when they came up with that.
Yep.
That was the last Christmas present I ever got from my grandmother. I mean, my mom and my grandmother went in on it together. That was back when layaway was the thing, and Kmart was still a thing. And they got it for me on layaway and everything for Christmas. And it came with, I think, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or something. And then my uncle and his third wife, they got me a whole bunch of games for that as well. And I absolutely went stark raving mad and everything, playing Sonic and playing all the other things, playing Vector Man. Oh, God, good grief. I can't remember all the games I had for the Sega Genesis, but I absolutely positively loved it. They brought down the price of the Super Nintendo and everything when the first PlayStation came out. And I got me a Super Nintendo, and I had like 3 or 4 games for it. I had F-Zero, which was a racing game, if you remember that one, Loki.
Yep,
I also played
F-Zero, dude. I played that
F-Zero.
F-Zero.
Yeah. There was another one that I played, which was The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. That was a fun one. I mean, dang, that was a hard one too.
Yes, because you could go back in time, and there was stuff you had to do in the past, and stuff you had to do in the future, and stuff you had to do in the present. It was insane. Yeah. You are not. Hold on. Keith, you start. I want to have that game. No, you are not. Me and my dad played the hell out of that game, and I can prove it. The Rainbow Bridge to get to the princess. Yes, I played the crap out of that game.
Yeah.
And I played the crap out of all the ones that came after that. They were like, I think there were 3 on the Nintendo or 4, and then they made them on Super Nintendo, and now they're making them for like everything. But I've played every Dragon Quest game I could ever get my hands on. That's what got me into playing Final Fantasy. Because I played Final Fantasy and I was like, oh, it's like a better version of Dragon Quest. Yeah.
Well, and there was there were so many, and I can't remember them all. I wish I could. Everything for the Genesis that I played. When I got the 32X, like I got Doom, I got the Star Wars game that that came out with it and everything, and I absolutely loved those. But when I got my first disc-based system, it was the PS1.
Yep.
And I had Final Fantasy VII. I couldn't finish it, but now that I've seen what they've done with it, I am going to eventually get the remaster because it looks really good. From seeing you play it, from seeing other people play it, I am absolutely positively going to get Final Fantasy remaster. The first Final Fantasy.
Do you have Steam? Do you have Steam on your computers?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I have it on my laptop.
I have a free version of the original Final Fantasy. Get with me after we get off this, and I'll share my contact info, and I will give you a free copy of the original Final Fantasy on Steam.
Oh, well, okay.
I'll just
thank you.
It's just sitting in my inventory, dude. So everybody I know has it. So I'll be more than happy to give you the original.
Okay. Well, thank you. Question from Star Wars Rogue Podcast. Favorite arcade games? Oh, there's several actually, because I remember when arcades were a thing, and they're starting to make a somewhat of a comeback. A couple of my favorites was the 4-person X-Men game where you could play as. Yeah, I was gonna say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well. That X-Men game is where you could play as Wolverine, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and I think Dazzler. I think were the
Yep.
4 or 5 that you could play as. And loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There was actually a Simpsons game that they did too that I think was a 2-person player as well, and that was a lot of fun. I don't know. Well, and this is one that probably everybody, David G Sound, Tron. I never got a chance to play Tron, but I have seen it and everything, and
It wasn't like the movie.
Oh yeah, I know.
You see like what they're playing. I'm talking about just the game they play in the movie.
Yeah.
You see all that, you think, oh man, it's gonna be like that, and then it wasn't. But you still played the crap out of it.
Yeah. Well, one that I really loved, and it was like high tech for the time, was the big cabinet one of it was that fighter jet one that John Connor was playing in Terminator 2.
Afterburner 2.
Yeah, Afterburner. That was it. Yeah.
They did a full cockpit version of that, not what he's playing in the movie. This is a full cockpit version that gave you 360-degree turning ability.
Really?
It cost $10 to play that shit at Disney California when I was. But they strapped your ass in that, and every time you moved left or right, the whole thing would roll. And every time you go up, if you do a loop, the whole thing would roll. So you do a loop in the cockpit. It was a completely enclosed like bubble you got in. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome game.
Well, and somebody just brought this up in the chat and everything. Another one that was a full cabinet one was the Star Wars arcade game.
Yep.
And I remember there was one. Well, actually, I think it was Robert Pearson who just mentioned this, where you could play different parts from each of the original trilogy movies. There was a theater and everything in the town where I lived and everything that had that in their arcade, and you could play certain parts of A New Hope. You could play certain parts of Empire Strikes Back, and of course, Return of the Jedi. But there were certain ones. There were little mini boss fights that you could play. You could battle against Boba Fett, and you could battle against Vader, and what have you. And it was an absolute blast to play. It really was.
Hold on, real quick.
Because
Chefzilla DM me, dude. I have that on my computer. I have the Star Wars Trilogy arcade set up on my computer. You can set it up with a stick, so you can play it with a arcade flight stick. Just DM me because I can't talk about how to get it while we're on the show. They would like
EG3 disc golf and everything. He knows which one I'm talking about. Star Wars Trilogy arcade. Yeah, that was the one I was just talking about.
That was made by
that
was done by Sega. That's Sega Model 2, I think, and that's their all the hardware in it was a Sega Model 2. So
but man, that was a fun game. Another one that I really liked because I liked fighting games to a certain extent. I could never get the hang of Mortal Kombat, but the Marvel versus Capcom crossover games that they had did. Particularly the one that had Onslaught as the final boss. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
I mean, where you could build your own teams and everything, and you could switch. I think it was like you could have 3 or 4 person or character teams or anything. You could cross them together with, like I said, Marvel and Capcom. I think one of my favorite teams I actually used several times to beat other players and beat the game was I had Wolverine, Iron Man. I think it was Chung Li from Street Fighter, and there was another one, but I can't remember the name of. I can't remember who now. But that game was so much dang fun, but it was so dang hard.
Yep, I always went Wolverine and Ryu. Ryu was my jam on Street Fighter.
That might have been it wasn't Ryu. It was Ken. I think that was the other character that I used. Speaker for the Dead, Hydro Thunder. That's a good one too.
Dragon Slayer. Welcome to the adventure of a lifetime. Use Dirk the Daring to save the princess. What was her? She giggled a lot. That's all I remember. Ooh, Daphne, was that her name? Daphne?
It might have been. I don't remember playing that one, but
Oh, dude, you never played the animated one? That game was drawn by the guy who did.
Dragon Slayer. Okay, that one. Yes, that one. Yeah, I had that one. I had played. Yeah, that one I had to. Yeah,
I loved Dragon's Lair. I'm sorry, Dragon's Lair, not Slayer. I just got corrected by Mexican Iron Man.
Iron Man,
Dragon's Lair. So
yeah. That one I remember playing. Let's see. Some of the others that I played. Geez, there were so many. The one that really got me into disc consoles was Final Fantasy IX. I loved Final Fantasy IX. That game,
BV, dude. BV.
BV. Yeah, that reminds you of Orko from He-Man. Yeah,
yep, that's the only one I remember, though, dude. I don't remember the names of any of the other ones.
Well, let's see. I do. There was Garnet the Princess. She was actually a mage. She was your mage and everything. Well, one of the other mages besides Vivi. For heaven's sakes, I can't remember. Zidane was the main hero. Yeah, you had Steiner, who was the knight. You had it was some sort of dragon-like creature and everything that was your lancer. It was also another fighter. There was another character and everything that almost reminds you of a cross between Blanca and Knuckles. I can't remember the name of it either, but that game, the story was so darn good, and even though there was no dialogue, it was all done through really good animatics or cutscenes, and the music was so darn good and everything as well. And it was just, I remember spending hours. I remember staying up to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, just playing the hell out of that thing. And my mom would come through and everything. She's like, "Are you still playing?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Are you going to go to bed eventually?" I was like, "Yeah, eventually." And to the chat, to Shea Storm Dragon, good morning. Hope you're doing well.
And hey, bring something up real quick. Speaker of the Dead brings up a really good point, and this could be a way we can like move into something concerning this too.
Yeah.
Segue even.
Yeah.
Okay, so Speaker brings up, if I had all the money now that I put in arcade games, I could probably buy a house. Dude, okay, I know you're joking, but I want to tell you something. There was a community that I was a part of back in 2009, 2010. And it was for a certain online game. All right, this is how Loki started doing videos, guys. And if I had the money that I put into that game, and you would not believe how much money I put in that game, I could buy a brand new small Honda right now. I'm not kidding. Ambassador laughs. I'm not kidding.
Loki, I believe you. I 100% believe you.
When I left, it was because I pulled up. I went to my bank and I was like, I need every charge I've made over the last couple of years. Because I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I know I've spent at least like $3,000 just in the last 6 months. And I got all my receipts, dude. And I'm not shitting you. I could buy a brand new small Honda now. It's not a joke.
I believe you. And to the chat, number one sci-fi. I love pinball machines myself. I remember playing pinball machines as a kid. And, arcades kind of got away from having pinball machines, which kind of stunk and everything. But the thing that's become kind of popular, you'll have these there's a bar and everything where I live, or in the town where I grew up and everything, that has a mixture of both regular arcade games and pinball machines, and they have got some really good ones. They've got one for Star Wars. They've got one for Terminator 2. They've got one for, I think, the Munsters, possibly. They've got one for they've got several, and they're all vintage. They all still work and everything, and they are so much fun. And you can pay X amount of dollars, and it's all free to play.
Yep.
You don't have to do quarter. You don't have to do quarter.
If you guys are looking for something like that, there is a company that runs what is called the 80s Retro Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Go in and you pay like a $10 or a $15 fee. I can't remember exactly what it was. Everything is push button load. So when you walk up to a machine, instead of putting in a quarter, there's a button there and you just press it and bam, it's like putting in a quarter. So for 10, 15 bucks, you can play as much as you want all day long. And go back and forth. They'll stamp your hand. You just walk back in, show them your stamp. And of course, all that shit's shut down now. And I don't even know if they'll make it, with everything that's going on. But
I think they will.
Something to look for.
I'm optimistic about it. I think all these businesses or anything, if they can get the assistance they need, I think they'll be able to make a comeback and everything. And just briefly, I know everything's very tense right now, but folks, we have faced a lot. This country, this world has faced a lot worse than this, and we've come through it. We're going to come through this too, and we're going to come out of it stronger than we were before we went into it. So keep the faith, keep praying, keep doing what you're doing, and we will get through this too.
And Mexican Iron Man says, please smash the like button.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? I was a member of that community. I joined that community. I didn't create that community. And you know what, dude? There was a lot of shit going on in the background that I didn't know about, I didn't know about until, so I was all about the Star Trek. This all concerned Star Trek. It was all a Star Trek thing. You've heard me talk about the Star Trek RP I did for 4 years. I was a member of that community. And when I first started, I was like, oh man, this is cool. And I'm rising up in the ranks because they see me playing and we're talking and I'm outgoing. And then this whole RP thing came up and it was like, bam, I started to go to the very top of the ranks because I was running something. I was creating a draw in the community. People were signing up just to do the RP. They were like, man, we heard about this badass RP you're doing and we want to join. Cool. But the more involved I got in it, the more shit I saw going on in the background. And it was like war, constantly war. This faction going to war with this faction, and these people talking crap about these people. And you try and stay out of it, and then someone would pull you into it. And it got to the point where it's like, you know what? These people all have these stupid little agendas and this isn't fun anymore. And then I ended up leaving and doing my own thing. I created what is called SSO Gaming, which petered out like 4 years ago. But go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
But the toxicity, I guess you'd say. I said I was going to use that word too. I told a master before the show, I'm like, because I hate that word. The infighting. I won't say toxicity. Take that back. Slash it. The infighting. Was horrendous when I was doing that. And all I wanted to do was have fun and enjoy the time I was having. And it was like every other day there was somebody talking crap about somebody else. And these people hated these people. And it was crap. And eventually, you're ready to lace up. You get to the point where you're like, I ain't going to take shit. You lace up your boots and you go to war. But when that's all you're doing, when you can't have any fun, bunch of crap. And me and you were talking about communities, just communities, not even gaming communities, but just communities, and how when one person thinks that it's their way or the highway, that's not good for anybody.
Well, as far as like gaming communities or anything like that, that was not something that I really had an opportunity to get involved in all that much. I mean, online gaming for me, I like it to a point and everything. I see the benefit of it. I can see where it can be a lot of fun for everybody, but it's not something that I've had a whole lot of exposure to because, as I said, I haven't done a great deal of it. The only real exposure or only real time that I've spent on any type of online gaming to any great degree was Overwatch. And I did that a couple of years ago. I think that was about a year or so ago when I was doing that. But the thing that bummed me out about Overwatch is the fact that you had to pay, whether it was, I can't remember if it was just an exclusive for PS4 or if it was on all consoles or at least PS4 and Xbox One or whatever. But I didn't like the fact that you had to pay to play. I mean, if you just bought the game, okay, that's one thing. But from my limited experience that I've had with online gaming, most of the people that I've played with, they're mostly independent people. They don't work with it. They aren't necessarily a part of a community. It's been it was a fairly good experience for me. I didn't get sucked into any type of online drama or any type of online issues or what have you. And by and large and everything, from what I have seen, there are good, positive benefits about online gaming. It can make you a better player because you get to work with other people, and they may have a better angle on how to approach when it comes to strategy and what have you. And particularly with games like Overwatch and something those that are similar to it. But honestly, the big turnoff for me about online gaming is when you have to pay a monthly or a several monthly subscription to a certain platform or whatever to be able to be online and play with your friends. Whereas with other platforms, you can just get online, load your game, and just play. And you can have fun with your friends. You can have fun with people you may have never met. You can build a rapport. You can build a friendship with these people. And I see that as one of the really big benefits of online gaming is because I am very much, for most of you who do or don't know me, I'm very much an extrovert. I love being around people. I love talking with people, shooting the bull with them, talking strategy.
That was a bunch of weird shit. I got kicked out of my own stream, guys. Hashtag blame Loki.
No. Hashtag blame StreamYards for being glitchy.
Oh.
But the thing I was saying is one of the big benefits of online gaming is the fact that you get to network and communicate with people that you normally wouldn't meet in real life. Because just for example, being on YouTube and everything, and particularly at the start of this year, I have had the opportunity to meet so many different people, and I've actually started to make connections with people who live overseas, for heaven's sake. I mean, there are a couple of guys, one in particular, and everything like Star Wars Rogue Podcast, who is from Great Britain and everything. And he and I, we're building a good rapport. We have a good rapport where we work well together when we do podcasts and we do streams and what have you. Just Another Nerd, I believe, if I remember correctly, Just Another Nerd is from Ireland. And the thing that I see and everything is this opportunity for the internet and platforms like YouTube and so on that give us the opportunity to interact with people that we normally may not have the opportunity to meet. And when you can set up an account on Steam or whatever, and two people from across the country or quite literally across the world can come together, play a game together, get to know each other, build a friendship and everything. And while you may never meet face to face, it's a great opportunity for, like I said, a person like myself who is very much an introvert. I am very much a people person. I like talking with people. I like interacting with people and what have you. And the internet has given us this opportunity to build communities and build relationships with people and everything. And I will say, by and large, whether it is on here, it's on Twitter or whatever, the majority of the relationships I have built or are starting to build with people have been, by and large, very, very positive. And I think gaming is one of those things that we can all connect together, regardless of our background and everything that entails, and everything. Whether we come from the era of like the 1980s, like you and myself, and we can share our love of older games and gaming and everything with the younger generations, and say, hey, this is how far gaming has come from when we were your age, and we can introduce these classics and everything to them, and we can say, hey, try this out and see how far gaming has come. And yeah, the graphics may not always be the best, although I know that's like 16-bit stuff.
Oh no, that's like art, dude. No.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly.
That's art, dude.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is that nowadays, like 16-bit graphics and what have you is considered art.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really cool thing. And to a Dega Outlaw, Babylon 5 does bring people together. And Broken Entertainment, yes, we are talking video games. We're talking about the stuff we grew up playing as kids. We're talking about how the evolution of online gaming has led to online communities and the benefits and the pros and cons and all that sort of stuff and everything. And Broken Entertainment, glad you could tune in today.
Hey, hold on a second. Mark the Infinitely Tired, because I'll move on from here from what I've got up on the screen. I just had it up there to remind me.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. If you want to build one, if you've never built one, send me a DM. I've got 120 gigabyte card image that I have backed up on my computer I've built like 5 of those. So if you want to build a Raspberry Pi, let me know and send me a message. I will shoot you an image of the card that I made, and that takes a lot of the hassle out of it.
Yeah, and EG3, I'll scroll back up here so I can get their comment real quick. Hold on. Graphics is eye candy. Yeah.
The real joy comes from gameplay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know, the amazing thing is, I remember one game, and it's from the Xbox and everything, because I had an original Xbox One, not the Xbox One, the first iteration of the Xbox, Assassin's Creed. I loved Assassin's Creed. Loved it too. Well, no, actually, it was on PS3. It wasn't Xbox. Strike that. But I loved Assassin's Creed. Not just the game. I played the first. Yeah, well, I played through the first one through the third one. The third one being the second game with Ezio Auditore. I played those 3. I kind of dropped out, unfortunately. Brotherhood. I did get to play part of Brotherhood, but I never got a chance to finish it. But the thing that I loved about Assassin's Creed is the world and everything felt so real, particularly when you get into the second game, Assassin's Creed 2, where you meet Ezio Auditore. And you're in Venice, and you're in all these old Renaissance era buildings and churches and cathedrals and whatever. And the world felt so real. And you get to see architecture and a part of the world that you may not normally get to see elsewhere. And you get to see a part of history and everything in a manner of speaking, although it's a fictionalized history to a point, but it still is. It feels real, and I absolutely love those games. I love the story and everything. But the gameplay itself and everything, you get to customize and get all the little gadgets and extra weapons or anything, and even the fact that you get to work with a real life character from history and everything, who was an inventor and an artist and a real Renaissance man, the Renaissance man, Leonardo da Vinci. But
Dude, all those games, all of those
Mhm.
games, I've played every single Assassin's Creed. I've got every
Mhm.
single Assassin's Creed on
Yeah.
you. And I got them because that was one of those series, and you'll get burned out. You gotta play it in spurts. You can't play every game
Yes.
back to back because you will.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll
Yeah.
feel like you're doing the exact same
Mhm.
thing. But
Yes.
the story behind it, and the Templars, and the apple,
Yeah.
and yes,
Yeah. Mhm.
eh,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way
All that stuff. Yeah.
the
All
way
that stuff.
they took so many ideas from so many religions and so many
Mhm.
backgrounds and myth and
Mhm.
legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. And I believe they even had a thing on that the very first game all the way up until this last game, the where you're like a Spartan.
Mhm.
And that is, this game
Yeah.
was ideated by
Mhm.
many people of many different faiths.
Yes.
So
And, you know.
when you really
Mhm.
get into diversity, okay, real
Yes.
diversity, not this shit they talk about on
Mhm.
Twitter and they throw at you. Real diversity. You start to look
Yes.
at something like this and you go, you know what? This is what happens when a group of really good storytellers can get together and make something really kick ass.
Yes. Absolutely. Because here's the thing: this world has gone through so many different iterations of religious belief and what have you. And I won't go on a big tangent about this or anything. It'll be very short. But the thing you have to realize is this is a this is a world of many faiths, although there are some that more people subscribe to than others. But the thing is, you don't want to, if you bring all these different ideas together, you can create something that is quite striking, very beautiful, and authentically inclusive, not artificially or forced inclusivity, but authentic and organic inclusivity. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. But and so that guy says, "Welcome, glad you could tune in." But the thing
Yes,
about
the Brotherhood was set in Rome and Venice.
yes, yes,
Madness.
it was. Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Flag was my favorite too. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
Hmm. Yeah. But
The
the
sea
thing,
the sea shanties. That's all I'm
yeah.
saying. Sea shanties.
But
Did you?
and here, you talking about Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
Yes,
I did not get a chance to.
dude. I'll see if I got a copy of that too. I know I got a copy of a whole bunch of stuff in Humble Bumble. I will check and see if I have a copy of that, dude. That is the best game because you basically have
That's what I've heard.
You have
Yeah,
your
that's what I've heard.
you can
Ooh,
upgrade
Lady Mist,
like you
Lady
can
Mist, Lady Mist. Yes, Panzer Dragoon, great RPG, great RPG for the PS1. That was a great game. That was an absolutely great game. I remember playing that sucker for the PS1. I was like, "Ooh, this is good."
Panzer Dragoon Saga. But you can
Yeah,
upgrade your ship. You can upgrade your ship in Black Flag, just like
really.
you can upgrade your character. Everything's upgradable from cannons, the way it looks.
Nice,
You can do
nice.
flags. You can go pirate. You can go, yeah. Everything
Mhm.
about that is customizable and upgradable.
Yeah,
And you get to hunt stuff. So you get
Yeah.
to go hunting for sharks. You'll get in like your whaling boat with your spears. Go, dude, and
I don't think I could bring myself to do that.
but you one of the also things that's cool is you collect sea shanties. So as you're running around on land, you might run into something and it's like a sea shanty. And when you go out on your boat the next time, your guys could be singing that as you're sailing away wherever you're going. Your guys will be singing the new song you just picked up.
But the other thing about these online gaming communities is it is a real picture of authentic and organic diversity. because you've got people from practically coming from all walks of life, from quite literally all over the world, who are coming together, and they're gonna go save the princess, or they're gonna go blow up the space station, or whatever the heck it is. But they're all there to do one thing, and that is play games together. And that is one of the really beautiful things about online gaming. And if you can keep it civil, and you can keep it to a point where everybody is just like, we're here to play games, we're here to hang out, we're here to just shoot the bull and everything and have a good time together. That's the great thing about online gaming and online communities in general.
I completely agree.
But unfortunately, what happens is you sometimes will get you'll get these people in these communities who want to come in and try and railroad everybody else, and they can quite literally suck the fun right out of what you're trying to do. And that's just come together and play games. You're just there in that community to play games, have a good time, shoot the bull with everybody else. One game that somebody brought up a few minutes ago was World of Warcraft. That's a great image of, or a great example of people coming together to do something like that. And I know that they've done patches and it has gotten better, but another one that I think is a good example is Elder Scrolls Online, or even Star Wars: The Old Republic, the SWTOR MMO. That's another good example of people just coming together who love Star Wars, or maybe they're either a hardcore Star Wars fan, or they're the word escapes me. They're not hardcore, but they like Star Wars enough, and they like online gaming enough that they'll go online to play games together.
I had this guild master ask me to make them a video, because that's what I did back in the day. I made game videos, and I remember I was like, well, what do you want this to be about? I want it to be about how we're not like everybody else. And I was like, well, how do you mean by that? Well, I don't want them to think that the guild master's out to get them. And one of the things I actually say in the video as I'm doing this, because I do it in different voices, is have you ever been in a guild where the guild leader stabs you in the back so he can fondle your legendaries? And the whole idea about that was people backstabbing people in communities. People backstabbing people in gaming communities because they want something. They want you to do something for them, and they want to take advantage of you, and all the drama surrounding that. So when you want to stand out, which they did, to me, I'm going to attack that. I'm going to attack the idea that, these other places, these places where you've experienced drama, where you have experienced shit that shouldn't be going on, that's not going to happen here. We just want to kick back and have fun and do what we do, and drink and chill and have fun and play games, because that's what the whole point is to have fun and be a part of a community without having to worry about the guild leader fondling your legendaries.
Precisely. Yeah. You can have your own personality, and you can be yourself and everything, and to an extent, but well, okay. I want to preface this. Let me make sure I'm prefacing this properly. The thing about online gaming
Sam makes points. I just want to make this. I just want to throw this out there. Sam makes a good point. It's not just gaming community.
Yes, that is true. And everything. The thing is, you have to. Yes, Star Wars World Podcast, is an escape from real life drama, and we don't want it in our escape. That's pretty much what I was going to say. When you come into a community, you want to be able to just leave all the real life stuff, even though real life is going to occasionally seep in, but you have to be able to mark a line and say, this is the line we do not cross. this is the line where we agree to disagree, and we respect each other's views, and we don't start name calling just because of X, Y, or Z. And we just try, and it can be a bit of work, but at the same time, it is worth taking that effort to keep the community positive.
Yeah,
because we're here to share our love of a thing, or to play games online together, or whatever it is.
Broken
But so long.
Mark Hamill and John Rhys Davies. Mark Hamill, John Rhys Davies, Wing Commander 3 and Wing Commander 4, brother.
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember Wing Commander. Decent movie. I never played the game. It was
badass. Mark Hamill.
That's what I've heard. That is what I have heard. Yeah, I've heard that Wing Commander is actually very good. I remember seeing the ads for it and everything in some of the comics that I read when I was a kid and everything, but we just didn't have the money for a gaming system or for a PC or whatever. So,
the heart of the tiger.
Yeah, precisely. But the thing is, we have to, when you're in an online community of any type, you have to learn and everything. And this is something that I think us as the older generations can help the younger generations do. And this is a point I brought up previously, but I think it's warranted bringing it up again. We know how to be sociable offline, and we need to help guide and everything, in a manner of speaking, the younger generation and how to be civil, how to agree to disagree, and just sometimes let things go instead of getting into a big fuss or a fight over things that really don't matter, or things that should not be brought up in certain community, in certain aspects of a community. And sometimes, like I said, it can be very difficult to do that, because when you play online with people or you're talking with people online, there are subjects that are going to come up that might be somewhat sensitive and everything, and you just like, okay, this is obviously, we're crossing a line, and we shouldn't. Maybe this is a line we should not cross. Maybe we should just avoid this and everything, just so we can keep this thing that we're trying to build, or this thing that we have built,
Dave, take care,
positive.
Brother. Have fun fishing with your kid, brother. Take care, man. And
Chefzilla brings up a good point and everything. It's a sad one, unfortunately. Civil discourse went the way of common sense.
Well, dude, it has, man. I mean, we see it in our movies, we see it in our comics, we see it in our games, we see it in the press, we see it everywhere. That it's like any kind of, well, I don't like this. Well, then you're this, or you're that, or you're other, or you're
But here's the thing. You're starting to see a resurgence and everything, and I think this is something that will continue to grow over time, and hopefully voices like you, Loki, and myself, and a lot of others that are online can help to rebuild that wall and everything, and say civil discourse and common sense can make a resurgence online. It is something that can happen and everything. You just have to put the effort into bringing those ideas back to the forefront for online communities. We're here to play games. We're here to have a good time. We're going to leave the real world stuff on the back burner, or we're just not going to bother with it, because there are some things that honestly just should not, in certain contexts and certain situations, be brought up and what have you. You know, most everybody knows that follows me on Twitter, on here on YouTube and everything, my channel in general. I am a nerd. I am a geek. I was a geek before being a geek was cool, but I am also a person of faith. I am a very devout Christian, And I look at myself through that lens. I am one and the other. I am not one separated from the other. I don't separate those two parts of my personality or in my background. And for some people, that can be a bit. I don't know the right word to say here. It can be somewhat confusing because there's this image of people who are people of faith and everything being, well, all you do is you go to church, you read your Bible, you sit at home, and you have no fun. And that is not. Adega, peace, brother. You take care. I'll talk to you later.
Take it easy, Adega.
You know, this is an image that I am trying to break. That not just because you are a Christian or you're X, Y, or Z, whatever your background is, doesn't make you a stick in the mud. You can be both, and you can express both parts of yourself and not come off as off-putting, because unfortunately there are a lot of people, okay, I don't want to say a lot of people, there are certain people within different faith communities that can come off as rather stodgy and very stick in the mud and boring as all hell. And unfortunately that's not true of everyone, because Christians like to play games. Christians like to watch movies. Christians like to watch cartoons and watch all sorts of different things, but we look at it from a perspective, is this positive? Is this something that is worth my time? And is it something that is going to be of benefit and everything to my family and people around me?
Or is it just going to drain your bank account?
That too. Yeah, exactly.
You know what, guys?
Please highlight Star Wars Rogue Podcast comment. That is perfect. No, further down.
Oh.
Second. Yes.
Not all Christians are Ned Flanders.
Yes.
Well, hi, ho there, neighbor. Oakley dokley.
That is absolutely spot on perfect. Yes.
So,
Star Wars Rogue Podcast, you nailed it right on the head, my friend. Well said. And to Kathia Star, yes, pagans are not sticks in the mud either.
So, guys, I want to thank you all for being here today. This has been an absolute blast talking about games, talking about groups, talking about religion and games. And I want a big thank you to my wrenches. They've been throwing links out constantly. Guys, I do have a new shirt out. It is the bleeding letter T. It's Loki's Mornings of Mischief across the entire chest. It's got the two wolf dragons on each side with bleeding lettering. If you guys could throw a link out, I would so much appreciate it. Check it out, even if you don't buy it. If you just look at it and you're like, oh, that's cool, that'll be great. I help my numbers. Thank you so very much, guys. Yes. Everybody. Lady Miss, Psychodorf 9, Tyron Beard, Star Wars Rogue Podcast, Lori Roberts, Broken Entertainment, Samantha Joe, My Valkyries, Purple Lady, Kathia Star, Chronos Chiron.
You got it. Yeah. You've been saying it right, bud.
Lady Q, Psychodorf 9, thank you guys so very much. I want to thank the ambassador for coming with us here today and talking and hanging out on this Taco Tuesday.
Ole!
Ole! Spike and Madness, thank you for showing up, brother. Thank you for coming in here and chatting with us. Guys, if you're just hanging out in here and you're not talking, talk. Hang out with the chat. We would love to hear you. We would love to hear your thoughts on it. We would love to hear your ideas. Don't just lurk. I know I'm a lurker. I go into people's channels and I just lurk and I hang out. I don't say nothing. And I get it, but you're always welcome to be a part of this conversation. Everybody is always welcome to be a part of this conversation. Word salad. So thank you again, Ambassador. Thank you, chat. Lots of love. We will see you tomorrow, and it will be a girl show. A girl show? What kind of show? Not that kind of show. So it'll be a fun show.
Before we go, do you want me to plug myself real quick? It'll take me 2 seconds.
Yeah, and I'll throw your channel out there. Yes, please.
Okay. No, it's okay. Tomorrow night on my channel, 7:30 Central Time, I will be resuming my Disney nostalgia review, and we're going to be talking about Remember the Titans and Miracle. And then Saturday night, I am completely changing gears, throwing Ambassador a wing on its head, quite literally, and we're going to be talking about music of the 1980s, and we are going to have some karaoke on Saturday night. So make sure and tune in. Both of those streams will be at 7:30 Central Time. I will be tweeting this out and whatever else. And I hope to see you all there. And again, to my good friend, to my good friend right here, make sure you smash that like button. You subscribe to this guy if you haven't already. Subscribe to my channel as well. I am on the drive to 300, and I will get there. And I thank Loki for having me on this morning. This was a blast, and it was fun.
You're not going to do it. You're not going to do a movie. No watch party Saturday.
No, not this week.
Okay, well, guys, doubleheader. He's going at 7:30. We will be doing the movie watch party. We will be watching Superman at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. So doubleheader.
Which one?
The original theatrical version, guys. Make sure you get the theatrical version. I would do the Donner cut, but that thing's like 3 hours long. Okay, so it's just too much. So we're gonna do the theatrical version. Make sure if you're gonna get the movie that you get the theatrical version and not the Donner cut, because we're gonna watch the theatrical version. I know I like the Donner cut, but it's just too long, guys. It's 45 minutes longer than the other one. And I don't want to go for more than like 2 hours, and I don't want to run over anybody else's stream.
Oh, don't worry about me.
So we will be talking about this for the next couple of days, getting it ready, 5:30. And I'm going to have a very special guest on Friday. I'm going to be having this very special birthday guest. So don't miss Fridays, guys. And we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you again, Ambassador.
Peace.
Everybody, have a great one today.